Hey folks, this is Matt Rainwater, and today I'm going to apologize in advance for this awkward angle. I have the only camera I use is the webcam on my laptop, which gets the job done for the most part. And I'm going to draw today, so the laptop is in folded up mode, and so I figured y'all might still want to see my face just in this awkward angle. um, what we're going to talk about for a little bit here is I wanted to do a video with y'all talking about gesture drawing. And so, what is gesture drawing in particular? What does it mean? Uh, it's for me, it's the first phase when I'm drawing. So it's like it's you could define it as like wireframes. You're just trying to get the general idea of what you're going to draw. Some people might also call it like a rough drawing. I have a very distinct definition for what rough drawing means. It's basically, I would put it like this: the stages of a drawing are gesture. It's the first stage. Two. It's a rough drawing. Let me make sure y'all can see that. Okay. Rough drawing. I'm just going to write the whole thing out. Have patience with me. And then third will be tight pencils, is what I would call it. And then there is a stage after that, which I call inking. That's when I have a final finished. I'm ready to just like cement that picture in, right? And y'all have seen me ink in a previous video. In fact, I think it was the first of these talk and draws that I've done. I was inking. So in this one, we're doing a very non-linear process here. In this one, I'm going to talk a little bit about like how do I start my day when I'm working, when I'm making Trailer Park Warlock. And the very first thing that I do actually is I go to, and there's several different sites like this that do this. I go to a life drawing site. The one that I use most of the time, and if you want to find, these are life drawing reference sites. And if you want to find one, pretty easy to find one. You just type in life drawing online. And usually by the third link, you can find, some actual resources. And the one that I go to usually is called Line of Action. I can leave a link to it in this video if y'all are interested. What Line of Action does is something that a lot of these online life drawing sites do is they have a collection of pictures that models have done that have worked with them or whoever. I don't know how they put these, compilations of photos together. But these are people who either worked as professional models, they have experience doing life modeling for artists to draw from. And these sites have a whole bunch of different options that you can choose from. And you can either do like a session where you're drawing all the same length, but you have your picture change after maybe it's a minute, maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes. You get to set the range for how long you want to draw a particular model, or you can do a class mode. And so what I'll do is I'll do class mode, and I will draw usually the first, I think it's like 15 minutes. And that first 15 minutes is all gestures, and it's all like what am I trying to say here? It's all like 30-second to 1 minute drawings. And so when I'm doing these 30-second drawings, if I can get this to work with me. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties, folks. Hang on a moment. When I'm doing the gestures, or when I'm doing any of these sessions, all that I'm doing is I'm just using this as an opportunity to basically like gain flexibility. Because every time that I draw, Every time that I start drawing, and I'm just gonna practice right now in front of y'all. I started a class on line of action, and I'm just showing y'all kind of what I'm doing here. I'm literally just like stretching, basically stretching my creative muscles. Not even necessarily creative muscles, just like getting into a position where I can just loosen up. And the reason I want to loosen up is because um, I don't want to take like that stiffness into my page when I'm drawing. I want to get that all out of the way, like before I commit pencil to the page, right? And so that's what I've found very useful. And this, they switch to the next picture. Kind of want to skip this one. I might do one more. What was I saying, y'all? Anyway, the point is, I just want to be loose when I'm getting to drawing a comics page, and the benefit of that is I've kind of gotten out all my jitters, right? Because like a lot of people frequently, not just like with drawing comics, but just illustration in general, when you're starting out and when you're like, you could be a full-time professional, you've worked like for years, and you're still going to have those moments where you're going to have some hesitation before you go to the page. She's like, am I going to do this well? Am I going to like mess this up? Whatever, right? This is just like, it never goes away. So for those of y'all who are just starting, like, um, you know, the path of drawing or have been drawing for a while, and and if you've ever asked yourself that question, like, will I ever be confident enough where I'm not, you know, downing myself as an artist? And the answer is probably no. You probably will not, and that's okay. Like, what you will find is that, you know, after there's a dog that's barking in the hall. Sorry, y'all, if y'all hear that dog. Um, what y'all will find is that you will get better over time. And that's the other reason why I've picked up this practice of doing gesture drawings before I work for the days. It helps me study anatomy a little bit day by day. It helps me sort of improve over, you know, things that I still have to improve over because I'm not perfect at them, like things like proportion, scale, everything, anatomy, size, whatever, you know, I already said proportion. But my point is like you never stop learning, and so that's been my take on it and why I do gesture drawings every single day that I draw comic pages. And like I said, like it's twofold. I get to improve as an artist, and I get to loosen myself up so that I'm going into what I'm doing with more confidence. So with that being said, I think that's really all I had to say for this video. I might draw like just a little bit more. Uh, just kind of get this really crummy looking Jake. But this is what I would call like a gesture, right? This is not a rough. I have not moved into the rough drawing yet. The rough would be more. So if I were to go into a rough drawing, I would create another layer. I move this layer down and make the line art more opaque, or not opaque, translucent. And then I would draw over that, right? And all that first off, I want to find the right line width. What I'm doing after that is I'm just tightening up the line art. I'm going to take out things I don't want, add in things I do want, and make the drawing better. And that's basically the idea. You know, earlier I went over that 4-step sort of idea of how I go from beginning to finished drawing, and that's basically it, right? I go from gesture to rough drawing. Wait, what did I say? To tight pencils. I stopped myself for a second because I don't usually do tight pencils. Unless it's like a pose or it's a drawing that I really need to just make sure is up to snuff. Like I don't feel 100% confident at the rough pencil stage. If that is the case, I will tighten. I will do one more step and tighten the pencils further, and after that, I'll ink and then have a finished drawing. So hopefully this gives you all an idea of my process. And the main reason I want to talk with y'all about this is having a process really helps in terms of it gets this is all about getting your mind in a place where you just feel more confident about what you're doing. I'm drawing Jake like this because right now, in the story that I'm in, the part of the story that I am, where I am in season 5, he doesn't have a jacket, so he's just going with tank top the whole time. So what was I saying? You want to have a process where you're not second guessing yourself. So if you know where you are in the process, you just go from there, right? You're not like just drawing from a place of, oh, I don't really know. I don't even know what I'm drawing. I'm just kind of doing some contours and maybe this person is smoking or something. And what happens is when you're drawing like this and you don't really know what you're drawing, or you don't have it planned out, you're more apt to just make an anatomical mistakes. You're more apt to be guessing at what you're drawing. And so this is a way of taking the guesswork out and just really thinking almost like you would as an architect, where you're building from the ground up. And you have an end goal in sight, but you don't quite know what it's going to look like. So you start from the easiest points and you just keep adding, right? And that is something more I can sort of talk about in a later episode of these, is just talking about like learning how to draw just basic shapes, right? I can go into it just for a second, just to give you all an idea of what I'm talking about. You can learn to draw everything by first also learning how to just draw, and I'm not amazing at this, but just learning how to draw just, basic quote unquote 3-dimensional shapes. Drawing a cube, drawing a cylinder, drawing a sphere, drawing a pyramid, drawing the idea is starting from basic shapes, and then what you do is you kind of morph them, and you can make all these different forms from morphing all those different shapes. And the idea is that you have in your mind a firm grasp of drawing 3-dimensionally. Something, by the way, which I'm not 100% at. My perspective is probably not the best. There are artists who draw with immaculate perspective, and I'm okay. But the point is I've learned to draw in a way where I can make shapes look 3-dimensional enough for my needs, and I can kind of play with the abstraction and do more, cartoony figures. I like drawing cartoony though. There are artists who don't like that and want to draw in a way that is more, observational, I guess is the best way of putting it, or more realistic, or what have you. And to each their own, and to each what they want out of their art. So anyway, I think I'm gonna leave y'all finally with that. And like I was saying, if you're somebody who has been drawing for a while and you feel like you need something to help you get to that next step because maybe you're at a plateau. Uh, Not just life drawing, like drawing pictures from online, but also attending like real life drawing sessions, which not every town or city has them, but usually you can find one or two, that happen about once a week. Show up. It's a great place to meet people. It's a great way to learn how to, because when you learn how to draw from real life, that is an additional layer of gaining experience points, to use like a metaphor here. Like, because you learn when you're drawing from directly from real life, you learn more about drawing three-dimensionally in a way that you wouldn't drawing from pictures. And it's difficult for me to explain. I can only kind of explain it in sort of a vague way, right? Where it's like, I've noticed that I do a better job of observing when I'm drawing from real life versus when I'm drawing from pictures, because part of it is that pictures automatically flatten the image. So you're always sort of drawing from a skewed sense. And so there's a little bit that gets left out. Not that you're not going to learn, and not that you're not going to grow, like you're going to grow and you're going to learn from doing that. I remember one of my favorite classes in art school was one where it was just all homework. It was, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was like fast sketching or something. I keep saying like this is going to be it, and I keep going. And basically the idea of the class was like we showed up for our life drawing sessions every day or every class, and it was probably about 1 to 2 hours of life drawing, and it was all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute type sessions, because the idea was like you were learning how to draw very fast, which is extremely useful for comics, extremely useful for a lot of different things. And our homework was, we did what I was describing earlier, where you could do it in real life, but you also had the option of doing it from websites, and just pounding out drawings, just getting as many done as you could within the time allotted. And in that time, my ability to draw exploded exponentially. So I really highly recommend it to all of y'all. For all of y'all who are learning right now, or like I said, you're at that plateau and you want to get to the next level. So anyway, with that being said, finally, I'm going to leave y'all for today. And I'm hoping, y'all have a good one. I will talk to y'all again soon. And until then, bye.